A grade, A reserves. I played C grade, filled in a couple of times for reserve grade. Yeah, and they were always strong. Hills are always strong in the A grade and whatnot. 87, we won our first C grade grand final. That was Johnny Abbott and the boys. That was the year before I got here. 88, that was when I come to the club with C grade, and we won the grand final as well. So Hills went from having no C grade premiers to 2 in a row. 89, we played in the A grade grand final because I remember coming back and watching that. There's a story there about the bull going missing, which was a cow made up to be a bull that someone had stole and then it went missing. So there's some funny stories there because we had a bull walking around the oval at half time before the game. So yeah, it was pretty good. In 1990, that was when the Metro Cup started. We got beat by Ryde Eastwood in the Metro grand final. We really weren't even meant to figure in that competition at all. We're meant to be sort of just making up numbers, and Cookie was the coach and done a great job obviously and got them to the grand final. 91, I come back to Hills, played the Metro Cup. Cookie was still coaching, and then as soon as I come back, we went from being runners up to also rans. I think we come last that year, so we were last or second last. I don't know, we had a couple of years where we just missed the semis or just made the semis, and then in 94, I think it was, we made the Metro Grand Final again. This time got beaten by St Mary's. In that 6-year period, it was 5-year period, we made the Grand Final twice, so it's pretty impressive effort, considering we're playing the likes of Ryde Eastwood, who are a massive club, have plenty of money and put a lot into it back then as well. St Mary's, another huge club, always been strong, and once again had the money and had a lot of ex-first graders in there. And then we've always competed at a high level. 95 was our last year of Metro Cup. I'd finished playing by then, and that was the last year of Metro Cup for Hills. That was when Kellyville come in, Parramatta fed to Kellyville, and a lot of the players moved over to there. So Hills just went back to, I think, having an A grade sort of thing, and then so the A grade was successful through 2000s. They were, I think, won a couple of premierships, that sort of stuff. 2010s, we really dropped off from having an A grade. There was about a 3 or 4 year period where we didn't have an A grade, and might have even been longer. And we started finding our juniors were leaving. So we went from being strong in, say, our 16s, C grade onwards. We really dropped off and sort of become run of the mill on that side of things because, in all fairness, the kids, they went to where they thought they had an opportunity to progress, and when you haven't got an A grade or senior footy, it's a massive downfall for any club. Your kids don't have somewhere to play, and that was where we really come undone. We really saw a downturn in our older age group for the kids. The club knew something needed to be done. Look, I wasn't on the board then, and I didn't make these decisions, but in 2012, I think it was the Sydney Shield. They had the Sydney Shield comp going, which is more or less reserve grade from the old Metro Cup. We fielded a team into that. I used to go along, watch them play and support those guys. I was coaching under 13s then, I think it was. They didn't do real good. They did the best they could. Unfortunately, our coach pulled out the last minute, and then Jay Crane come in, and then he brought in blokes that he knew from A grade. They tried, and he'd done as good a job as what he probably could have. The last minute preparation and everything. So unfortunately, they only won one game that year. They come last in the comp. The team I've been coaching for 4 years, I wanted to get out the year before, but couldn't find anyone to sort of take over it. Once that was sorted, the club knew I had no team to coach, so they asked me to come on board and take over the senior footy. I thought about it and I thought, well, we need somewhere for our kids to go, because I'd seen the downfall in the what I think is the best club in probably Australia Junior League, if not the world. And we were missing something, and I knew I could make it work. So the following year I come on, all I did was basically reach out to a heap of old Hills boys and ask them back. And then from there we needed to make it professional. So we went up and we were doing chook raffles and all the rest, meat raffles and that at the Fiddler back then, because that was where we were sponsored by. So every Saturday night there'd be a few of us get up there and selling meat raffles and just raising funds. And from that, then we bought ourselves a kit. So I didn't want to hit the club up for anything, so we bought ourselves a kit. So we had a full training gear and all the rest of it. We had all the old Hills boys back, and from that we made the semis. I can't remember if it was the first semi or the second semi, but we got beat in the semi-finals. And then had a couple of years there, we had a connection because we only had Shield going, so we had a connection with, they're now called Burwood Concord Glebe, but they were only Burwood back then. Then it was Burwood Concord, and they keep managing to bring clubs in to support their financial situation there. So we were feeding them, they were in the Ron Massey. And then from there, 2015, I think it was, we made the grand final and got beat through a couple of injuries and a couple of errors we had along the way. Got beat, run down by Wenty. Starry was club president then. He had an affiliation with North through his son playing there or something. And that's where we got a connection there. So I went down and we had meetings with them, and we ended up coming on board, obviously to feed them there in the State Cup. So we had to step up to Ron Massey. It was a perfect opportunity to do it. It was probably a year or so before I was planning on it, but the opportunity arose. So then we went from there, and from that we've built it. We made the semis. I think there's been 1 year we haven't made the semis, and that was when North pulled the pin on us and said they're only going to do their own junior clubs, feed back their own junior clubs, because Asquith was in at the time, and they made that decision in January of the year. So it really left us in the lurch, and that was the only year we didn't make the semis. 2015 was extremely special year for our club. Yes, we made the grand final, and we went through a semi-final run. We had massive support everywhere we went. We weren't playing the top level, but we had the crowd. When our games were over, the stadium was empty, and he still had Ron Massey to play. Like, it was undescribable how good it was and what it meant. There was also, through the year, there was an accident that happened to Nath Gramo, who was one of our ball boys. That brought the whole club together in a way like you've never seen, and the passion and the feeling the whole thing had behind it. Unfortunately, we couldn't go on. We couldn't win the grand final, but it was so close. And what it meant to everyone within the club was unbelievable. Mick Gramo was a tower of strength for everyone. It's hard to believe, like when you lose your son and then they can make something so special out of it, like not just from our club, it's now a community thing around Australia. They've turned that into, Jersey Day, which is so important to so many people and means so much by people just putting like their family, putting their time in and going out and speaking to people. And it's about communication, letting your family know what you want to do. You don't have to donate your organs, but you want to have the conversation, and that's what it's about, and it's super important to our society. And back to the footy side of things, like for Mick and the family to get so behind us when it, like we I think from memory, we just scraped into the semis, and then we come all the way through. And it was everyone at the club, Buzzer, Bowie, I think I mentioned Brod Wright before. There's just, it was just an unbelievable playing group, and we just really, it meant so much to the whole club, us making it and going on the run we went through the semis, beating teams we'd never beaten before, was just outstanding. It was a very special year, but really I can only thank the Gramo family for that. The way it worked out, it was terrible, but so good for our community spirit at this club, and still is to this day. The Nathan Gramo Shield is one of the biggest days we have down at this club, and will be for a long time to come. It was a total shock to not only our club, but the whole Hills community. Like, everyone knew about it, everyone knows about it, and it was very, very emotional time. And on the back of that, we went on just an unbelievable journey. We just couldn't get across that final step, which anyway, will haunt us for a long time. But anyway, it was a very special time. So yeah, I meet up with them, tell them what the club's about, and I do it quite easily. I speak with passion about this club because it's special to me, special to my family. I've got some lifelong mates I've made through this club. So when you speak to people about passion about something you love, it's not hard to sort of get them really involved in it. And a lot of the players that we have got over, I'm still mates with, even though they've decided to go to other clubs purely for financial reasons. We can't match money with, St Mary's, your Wendy's, and so on, Mounties and all the rest of them. Right Eastwood have just come back into it. They will be a powerhouse in time to come, because as soon as they start putting more money in, they'll build again. They've always been strong for 100 years, whatever they've been around. So, but it's to get them across, and to get it across without money. You speak with passion and be honest, and so tell people what it's about and what we're here for. They buy in, and that's what it's about. That's the only way we can really do it. Like I said, we can't match them with money. We don't have the money that other clubs have. As I said, with players that I've got across in the past, we've become really good mates. There's blokes, Stevie Bristow, for instance, he's coaching at Wenny, yet him and I are best mates, like, and I call him up, we're going to have a beer. Even Fleddy, when he come back, well, I've known Fleddy since he was bloody this high. So blokes like Brod Wright and his old man and whatever else, these blokes just come along into the club. Bowie was going to play rugby, and he just decided, hadn't played for so many years, and then come across, and he's been here ever since, and him and I are really good mates. Once they're in, they either buy in and love the place and play for that jersey, or you get blokes that move on, and because they're not getting the money, they get promised the world by other people, other clubs. I don't talk shit. 2022, we won the grand final on Massey, and couldn't have been prouder of the boys and the efforts from everyone that put in. This year, we're now in the grand final. We're about to win the grand final in the Sydney Shield. Our Ron Massey unfortunately bowed out first week of the semis, but our Sydney Shield, I'm sure, are going to do us proud on Sunday. So by the time anyone's watching this, we'll be Sydney Shield premiers, so I'll be pretty happy. So.